Hello, my companions. I am Dartanian, and I am giving you guys another update vlog here on my National Novel Writing Month progress. This is not November 2nd, so my idea to do one of these every single day was definitely a little bit overzealous, so it's not really going to be every single day, as I have found out, because most days can get a little busy, a little crazy. This is actually the start of day 4. It is Friday, November 4th here, and I have the day off to just write. And so I'm really hoping that I can pick up some ground because I am a little bit behind the gun here on the progress. Essentially what I've done, because I've found a couple different things have been discouraging for me. I don't like the huge big pages, like they really feel like I'm not getting anything accomplished. So when I am writing, I've actually formatted my pages to be in 5.5 by 8.5, which would be a normal novel size period there. So I am through one chapter now. My pattern for chapters has always been relatively short, so that the action or whatever's going on is continually progressing without long gaps, long pauses here. So I'm through my first chapter and into my second here. Second chapter, I introduced some dialogue. So dialogue is really good at getting your word count up because you have a lot of experience talking in most cases. So it really helps that you can just flow through that dialogue because it's something that you're familiar with. When you get into something more like this right here, like looking at this wall of text here, that can take longer to conjure than the couple of pages of dialogue there, because you're going into much more detail and you may have to stop and think and research and figure out exactly what it is you're trying to convey. If you look on this page here, this is a little trick that somebody on the National Novel Writing Month Reddit taught me. Everything that you write is supposed to go towards your word count. So one thing that I was doing is editing as I go, which is a problem that I've always had. I've always gone back and corrected myself or changed something, and it really doesn't bode well if you are deleting words and trying to get to 50,000 by the end of the month. So he gave me, or she, rather, one of them, I am not going to assume, gave me this tip to just highlight the text that you're going to remove later and either change it to a white font, but the white font was kind of made it look odd to me, so I put it as a very light gray, and it works. It works out just fine. So this is my typo, so I'm just going to go ahead and fix that live right now. But this is essentially where I'm at right now, pulling up the word count. I've got 3,191 words, so definitely a little bit behind right now, but I am going to try to hit that 10,000 word mark today, if not exceed it, and we'll see if I get there. I will check in here and do another video here at the end of this video, kind of when I'm done the process here for the day, and just see how things have gone, see what has updated. Thank you guys for watching, and I will be back in just a second with whatever my disheveled face looks like after a full day of writing.
Hey everybody, so I've been at this since about 9 o'clock this morning. It is now just after 5. Amber, my wife, is going to be getting off of work soon, so I'm probably going to be calling it quits at least for a little bit here now. Really happy with the progress that I've made here today. I have been drinking tea, a lot of tea, all day. Tea is life right now. Shout out to Alyssa Barton, who made this mug for me by hand a little while ago. It's my favorite mug. But yeah, it's been my tea drinking vessel of choice here today. So I kind of want to show you guys a little bit as far as progress that I've made. So I'm going to go ahead and pop up the screen here. So if it, I don't know if it's highlighting here on it. Not really, but you can see the cursor. So right around here is where I had left off yesterday. So at that time, if I recall from the earlier part of this video, I was just over 3,000 words and definitely needing to make up some ground. So from there, I have completed the second chapter, which does involve a lot of dialogue. Dialogue is my friend. I like dialogue. It helps these scenes move by a lot quicker. Because in my head, I kind of write and envision things as if it was a movie. So maybe I should have been writing a screenplay. I don't know. But anyway, we're keeping the novel format. I am not going to start over right now. That is not happening. But I get to the end of the second chapter and move on to establishing where Genevieve, the main character, works, Crestlink Consulting. So I did a little bit of research here as far as consulting firms, some of the work they do, some of the different parts of a business there, just so I could kind of throw those out. I also went into some detail as far as architecture and the look of the front of this building. So that's essentially what this first paragraph is going over the front area there where the entryway is to the building, and essentially making it connect with the main character in some way. And so I do that a couple different points here, linking it back to the character and the fact that she chose the flowers that were planted there on the display area out front. I think I just hit my microphone. And so that was cool to kind of go into a little bit of a detail run here. I did describe the interior of the first floor of the office. There is a little bit of inspiration here, combining my office here, like not like this office, but my office at work. And then also when I went to my wife's office at her office building, just the advanced technology that was there, because I wanted this company to look and feel advanced, modern. And so I took some of those elements there that I saw when I went to her place of business there and incorporated them into the description of the office for Crestlink Consulting. So that was a lot of fun. I do include another exchange here, introduce a couple characters. One, the receptionist downstairs, very minor character. I do introduce her. There is another, currently a mystery character that is introduced right here, and we'll learn more about that one later. This is where we get a little taste of what's to come as far as some rising action here, as far as a catalyst for the plot to progress going forward. Now, moving on here, I do create a couple more background characters just to essentially fill the room, because in the next chapter that I'm going to be working on, there is a consulting business meeting where I've never been in a consulting business meeting before, so I'm going to be pulling a lot of it out of my ass. But I wanted to fill that room with some semi-established characters that have definite personality traits. Darren Backlund is literally just a play on Bob Backlund and Darren Young, the wrestlers, and he makes chicken stuff, so that's funny, because mostly chicken wings. That's a little wrestling joke for me and any wrestling people that that end up reading this, if any. Vivian Morsley I create to be something of a no-nonsense, rude, terse businesswoman who you kind of need to force the smile on your face to please. Whoa. Hello, kitty. And then lastly, I introduce another character here, Dominic Cassius, which is actually also inspired, the name's inspired by two different indie wrestlers here in the Valley. So I'm kind of getting inspiration as far as names, because names are hard for me to come up with, so I'll usually just find two names that I like and mash them together, usually is what happens. And so I create that character and get a little bit of backstory there, and we move on to a minor conflict after a little bit more description of some background, some exposition in the end of chapter 3. Now chapter 4 is going to be a relatively short chapter, just mainly to demonstrate and show that Genevieve, or Jenny, or Jen, I wanted to choose a character name that can have different shortened versions. Jenny more of an endearing nickname, and Jen just as something quick and short that someone could like shout out or call out, or maybe not want to say the full name, but also have a longer, elegant sounding name for the boss character to say, because he's definitely a peculiar dude that I'm writing. And so in this tech support chapter, we get into a bit of a situation where the meeting is being delayed because no one can get the equipment to work. And in this case, one of the interns jams a mini USB cord into a Mac Apple DisplayPort and absolutely messes it up. So what this shows here, and what I'm writing about, or what I just finished writing about in this case, is Jen's ability to think on her feet and really come up with solutions to problems quickly, because that is going to come into play as a character trait, as a major character trait throughout the rest of the book. And that's really all I have right now. And I know a couple of you had asked about, if you're going to be getting snippets or samples thereof the story as I'm going. I really am not going to be releasing that much as I go, because there's a lot that I normally would go back and correct as I write, but in National Novel Writing Month, that is definitely frowned upon. If you write those words, just keep them and just put them aside and keep them in your word count, because if you go back and you keep correcting, you're not going to finish. And so that's something that I had to learn here recently. So I may not be sharing large portions of this as I go, but I am going to be tweeting out small lines that I really do appreciate or really do enjoy, or I may include some in the comments there if I find anything, or in a description if I find anything that really jumps out at me. But as far as major excerpts, anything that I find of worth, I will update on my National Novel Writing Month page there, which is going to be at the NaNoWriMo.org website. If you search Dartanian, I should come up. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and close up for today. I may write a little bit more later on, but before we leave, I do want to say that I did catch up. I more than doubled the amount that I've written all week today. I am now over 7,000 words and counting. So my hope and my plan is, I really don't know if I can get to 10,000 before the end of the day today. It is already almost 5:30 now, looking at the clock again. And so I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I am happy with what I've accomplished thus far. I have 2 more days to really knock this out and get a jump start. I'd like to try to get at least 1 more equivalent day's worth of writing done before the end of the day today. So I'm going to shoot for, about another 1,000 plus words if I can. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. if you want to cheer me on, I mean, keep cheering me on. The motivation that I get from the support group that's here on YouTube, as well as on my Twitter or on my Facebook page, you know, I really do appreciate every kind word that I get here as I write some kind and some unkind words in my story. I do want to share one thing here before I go. Let me see if I can find it again. So this goes, this is a quote, or yeah, I guess it's some dialogue from Mort, who is Jenny's or Jen's boss. And he's a very peculiar character. He's very reliant on her, which is why she's always at work. Because basically I'm painting a character where, yes, he has a very brilliant mind, but has no idea how the little things, the little parts of the company work. So here's one little excerpt there from him. He says, "Get to know these people," Mort would say. "Really learn to understand them. Each client of Crestlink Consulting's experience starts with you. Oh, and make sure to smile with teeth when you greet people. But not both rows, because that's creepy." And so I really like that, because that's something that I always think of when I smile, is not to include the bottom row of teeth, because that's really creepy. So, you know, there are different levels of smile. There's just the fake, and then there's the, you know, the actual smile, like, ha, these are my teeth, look at them. And then there's like full teeth, and that's when you get really creepy. This is like Nicolas Cage creepy. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining me today and keeping up on these vlogs. I do appreciate it. Gonna try to do another one sometime soon, and until next time, I'll keep writing if you keep watching.